Hello and welcome. I'm Barkha Dutt and we are streaming live from on the ground in Kerala. As you can see, my Vahanam is right behind me, the sturdy Ertiga that has taken me through so many adventures. And at the moment, we have made our way from the mainland's southernmost tip in Kanyakumari to Kerala, where a battle royale is unfolding. On the day that we are here with our new series, The Dhabas of Democracy, emblazoned on the side of our car behind, as you can see, Prime Minister Modi is in Kerala and so is Rahul Gandhi. And we are looking at the battle royale that is unfolding in Thiruvananthapuram, an intriguing triangular contest where Shashi Tharoor is hoping to be fourth time lucky, but the BJP is hoping that this seat of Trivandrum or Thiruvananthapuram could mark its debut in the Lok Sabha. Remember, we have to see all of this as part of the BJP's Mission South. This trip of the Prime Minister to Kerala is his sixth trip to Kerala in just the last few months, and he's made countless other trips to Tamil Nadu. Union Minister Rajeev Chandrashekhar, whom we also followed on the campaign trail, is fighting his first Lok Sabha election. And then there's also the left. And the left and the Congress, though allies as part of the India bloc, have almost traded more sharp rebukes and sharp repartees and allegations and counter allegations than the BJP and the Congress. So there's a lot to talk about. The Prime Minister has taken a swipe at Rahul Gandhi for being the candidate from Wayanad. Remember, Rahul Gandhi is now a contestant from Kerala. And the BJP and the Prime Minister made a point to say that because Rahul Gandhi could not keep the izzat of his Khandani seat, I'm quoting the Prime Minister here, he had to come to Kerala. So on the one hand is the Prime Minister's vision south. On the other hand is Shashi Tharoor aiming for a fourth time lucky, being challenged by both the left and the right. And then here we are in the middle of it all, on the ground, live, on this mammoth and fascinating road trip. As I said, we began in Kanyakumari, the mainland southernmost tip. We've driven to Kerala and we'll be driving all the way to Kashmir. It's called the Dhabas of Democracy because we believe that as we travel through the heart and the soul of India, every bite tells a story and every conversation we hope will spice up your day as we look at the fun, the flavors, the food, and the festivity that is Indian democracy. Now, to come back to hard politics, let me introduce our guests on the program today. Joining me is a veteran journalist and author of The Saffron Wave, Saba Naqvi. Thank you, Saba. And if you lose me for any reason, because networks are patchy on the road, do help me out and step in. Also joining us today is the former CEO of Prasar Bharti, Shashi Vempati. And I don't know how many of you know, but Shashi has served as a sub-collector in Kerala. I remember some of his tweets. So this is am I wrong? Okay, you can correct me later. Am I wrong? Okay, maybe I got that wrong. I read that somewhere, so maybe I got that wrong. Sorry about that. But anyway, Shashi Vempati, it's a pleasure to have you with us. I don't know why I thought that, but I stand corrected. Also joining us is Rahul Easwar. Rahul is a fascinating person in this context because he's from Kerala. He's a supporter of the Prime Minister, but he also really likes Shashi Tharoor. So which way is he going to bat? It's going to be interesting to see. Salman Soz, Congress leader, is with us. When Shashi Tharoor was running for Congress president, Salman was on that side. Now, of course, all that is over. But how does he see what's happening in BJP's Mission South? We'll find out. And also the BJP's Vinita Hariharan is with us. Let me get first comments, and I'll also have snippets from the campaign trail of both Rajeev Chandrasekhar and Shashi Tharoor. Shashi Vempati, I'll start with you. Why has the South suddenly become the epicenter of the BJP's campaign in this election? You know, there was a time when you covered elections and journalists would spend all of their time in Uttar Pradesh, in Madhya Pradesh, in Bihar, and not to say that we won't be doing that now, but suddenly we find that it's all very south focused. It's almost like the southern states are the epicenter of the BJP's push. Why do you think that is?
See, I think if you look at the BJP's growth footprint, right, steadily they started off with the traditional states of Gujarat, Madhya Pradesh, and then spread right across the country. And the South has always been a region that has always challenged the BJP. Karnataka is where they got their first break. Uh, but then the BJP's messaging to be, to get a breakthrough in, let's say, Tamil Nadu or Kerala, has to be very, very localized. It has to be put into the context of those two states. And I think that is what the Prime Minister has been doing. And if you see, this is not something that just started now before the elections. This has been something that he's been consistently at for quite some time now. If you look at the manner in which, when the new parliament was inaugurated, the Singol was given its place, the manner in which he's been very consistently doing these Tamil Sangamam, and now, of course, with the use of artificial intelligence, his speeches are now available in almost all of the South Indian languages. So it's a very concerted effort to make sure that the outreach and the footprint goes beyond what people have traditionally associated the BJP with. And then, as you look at the kind of mandate that he wants for the transformation that he's seeking, it has to be a pan-India mandate, and I think that pretty much explains why he's putting all this energy in this other state.
So the BJP, to that extent, Shashi, is challenging its description as a North Indian party, as a party of the Hindi heartland.
Uh, Definitely, it's about being a party that speaks for all of India, and both in its symbolism and its messaging, and to be able to derive its whole vision through local symbols, local culture, which is why you will see at every speech, every rally, there will be invocation of local icons, local cultural symbols, festivals, temple sites. So it's a very concerted attempt to make sure that everyone can relate to his vision and his messaging.
Let me now open this up and let me actually bring in Salman Soz. Salman, Shashi Tharoor is up in Thiruvananthapuram for the fourth time. But before we come to the domestic politics of Kerala, the Prime Minister in Kerala today, Rahul Gandhi, also in Kerala today, and the Prime Minister takes a sharp swipe at Rahul Gandhi, saying, "Look at this! Look at this politician who's had to come to Kerala. He could not even keep the izzat, the respect of his Khandani base." Obviously referring to Amethi and Raebareli. Now, I mean, that's fair politics. Why do we not have a contestant announced for Amethi and Raebareli? And two, even forget the BJP, the left is hopping mad with the Congress for Rahul Gandhi in Wayanad. The Congress is hopping mad with the left in Thiruvananthapuram. So, is the BJP going to be left with the last laugh? Salman, you're muted at your end. Can you unmute yourself, please?
Barkha, first of all, as far as Amethi and Raebareli are concerned, the Prime Minister should not be concerned. We will be announcing those candidates soon. And, this whole idea you asked Shashi about the southward march of the BJP. Of course, this march is going to basically be futile because, as far as I can tell, the UDF is going to win all 20 seats in Kerala. We're going to get more seats, many more seats than BJP in Karnataka. We're going to get many more seats than the BJP. In fact, BJP is losing seats in Telangana. So in Tamil Nadu, our alliance is going to get 39 out of 39 seats. In Maharashtra, BJP is losing seats. In Haryana, BJP is losing seats. In Bihar, BJP is losing seats. In Uttar Pradesh, BJP is losing more than they had lost last time. Remember this. I'm telling you now. In West Bengal, they're losing seats. Okay? In Jharkhand, they're losing seats. In the Northeast, they're losing seats. So they have to try and go to the South, but they'll get nothing there because people understand now that the Prime Minister, Shashi talked about this vision, this transformative vision of the Prime Minister. He needs this big mandate. What has he delivered with the mandate that he had, which was a tremendous mandate, by the way? The highest unemployment in decades. The worst manufacturing ratio since 1967. How can you create jobs in this country if your manufacturing is in the dumps? Your investment ratio is one of the worst for almost 3 decades. Investment, without investment, how will you have jobs? I mean, what kind of mandate does he need? What more does he need? We even gave him two planes for $1 billion. What more does he need? But he can try, as he can insult Rahul Gandhi, he can do whatever he wants. But Barkha, he is not coming back. Bye-bye.
Okay. I think I should allow Shashi Shekhar a brief response before I open it up. Shashi Vempati, go ahead.
Yeah, well, if the BJP is losing everywhere, why is the Congress not, winning? Why is Rahul Gandhi, seeking a mandate from Wayanad? Why not from his traditional seats, right? So I think there's a lot of wishful thinking, unfortunately, here. The pan India mandate that I was talking about is to make sure that when we look at developed India by 2047, it has to be about every region, every part of India being part of that story, and I think that is what the Prime Minister is making sure, be it the northeast, be it down south, be it every part of it.
So let me bring in Rahul Easwar now. Rahul, are you very confused man today? You're a Modi fan. You're a
Yes.
Shashi Tharoor fan. What are you going to do? What is Kerala going to do?
I mean, most of the people you can find, especially the middle class plus aspirational middle class people, they are fans of Modi and, of course, fans of Shashi Tharoor too. Even Modi ji once pointed out the importance of Shashi Tharoor's speech. But let me, very plainly and crudely speak 2 or 3 points. One, Sri Rahul Gandhi is coming to Wayanad. I have highest of respect for Rahul Gandhi, but Rahul Gandhi is coming to Wayanad because there is a Muslim dominated seat and he is going to seek Muslim dominated votes. Trivandrum is a Hindu majority constituency where 66% are Hindus, nearly 13 to 14% are Muslims, and 19 to 20% are Christians. Both Shashi Tharoor sir and Rajeev Chandrasekhar ji both are Nair Hindus or forward caste Hindus. So there is going to be a very tough fight between these two for that constituency because Trivandrum is a Nair Nadar dominated constituency. Even when O. Rajagopal sir was there, it was the minority votes that consolidated for Shashi Tharoor that helped him win. And as Shashi Tharoor versus Rajeev Chandrasekhar's fight is like Sachin versus Lara. Both are equally good, both are fascinating. I met Rajeev Chandrasekhar at an iftar meeting. I was very impressed by the way he conducted, very warm person. My mother is the president of a women wing of Brahmin organization in Kerala, and they are campaigning for Rajeev Chandrasekhar. But I'm equally confused. But I really like Shashi Tharoor as a person, and the real game for Shashi Tharoor is becoming Chief Minister of Kerala in 2026. But for becoming the Chief Minister, becoming the MLA, he will have to become MP because otherwise Congress will, many guys in Congress will pull him down through their own tactics. So it's a very interesting thing. But one thing can be sure, it's a very interesting fight in Trivandrum. It will not be a cakewalk, as it was earlier thought, because many people thought Rajeev Chandrasekhar would not take ground, but he has immensely taken ground. He has really even gone to the harbor areas, the beach areas. He's really making huge headway there. And Panyan Ravindran is also a working class hero. He's connecting to people. So that vote Shashi Tharoor sir will be losing from his kitty, and the right wing or the center right votes will be consolidating for Rajeev Chandrasekhar. And the critical point here will be who will NSS vote for. NSS is the Nair Service Society, who are traditionally aligned with the Congress party. So there, if they are taking a decision, that was also helping UDF in last time taking nearly 19 seats because of the Sabarimala agitations and all. So it is going to be one of the most interesting constituencies in the whole of India, especially Trivandrum and Thrissur. Trivandrum followed by Thrissur.
So Sachin versus Lara, but I must get Salman Soz in briefly and then Vinita and Saba on Rahul Easwar's point that Rahul Gandhi is in Wayanad, not just because he's nervous about Amethi and Raebareli, but because of its high Muslim population. I think I must give you a chance to respond to that. Salman Soz.
Well, there are two things to be said here. One, we have not yet decided, or at least announced. Decided is separate. We have not yet announced our candidates for Amethi and Raebareli. I don't know why people are getting so anxious. Don't worry, the comeuppance is coming. But as far as Rahul Gandhi and Muslim vote, are Muslims not citizens of India? And by the way, equal citizens. By the way, Rahul Gandhi led two big marches in this country. He went through from Kanyakumari to Kashmir, and then all the way from the northeast to Maharashtra. India is Hindu dominated, no? Why is it that in state after state, there were hundreds of thousands of people vying to be close to him? Why? Everywhere. Were they Muslims? They're not Muslims. They're predominantly Hindu. And the reason is, Barkha, the reason is, what Rahul Gandhi talks about is justice. And why does he talk about justice? Because you must have seen this recent CSDS survey. What does it say? It says that unemployment and inflation and lack of development and the kind of development we're seeing in this country is leaving so many people behind. That is why we need justice. That is what Rahul Gandhi talks about. That is why by the way, that is why millions, hundreds of millions of people are with him. And
Okay.
they're mostly Hindi.
Can I say something before Vinita and Saba come in? The CSGS survey indeed does say that unemployment and price rise is top of the mind, but it also says that it expects Narendra Modi to win a third term comfortably. So if you're quoting from that survey, it says both things. Salman, hold your fire. Vinita Hariharan, Kerala has to be seen as part of the BJP's larger mission south, right? But this is a state where the last time, and we'll bring those numbers up, the Congress plus its allies swept through. What's changed since then? What do you think has changed since then? Other than, are you banking entirely on the Modi factor? And is that going to be enough?
Yeah, so Barkha, the last 5 years, what we've seen is, first of all, in 2019, I think there was this entire kind of rhetoric that Rahul Gandhi would be the prime minister. So people actually fell into that trap, and they thought they're voting for the next prime minister of India. So that was one theory that got busted. And after that, that's not the only thing. 2019 to 2024, we actually capitalized on the development work that we did post pre-2019, 2014 to 19. There was a lot of work that was done on Vikas, and 2019 to 2024 was when actually the NDA government took the development narrative of the nation to the next level. So that is what appealed to that is what is appealing to the voters in Kerala, because we assume that Kerala, already has a certain level of development, and that's true from the earlier era. They've already had the social indices right. So the next phase of development is what they're interested in. The technological development, the kind of things that we are talking about, AI and all of that, and and of course the kind of startup economy for the MSMEs. We see a lot of rollout of the MSME schemes in Kerala by the central government, because MSME is one sector where the central government gives funds directly to the beneficiaries and not through the state government. So the efficiency is much more, and we are seeing a rollout of a lot of these programs for the MSME sector, which has gone on well with the enterprise economy which Kerala has, because the Kerala government has failed to create any jobs for the people of Kerala. And so all of us, like me, are outside Kerala looking for jobs, and our livelihoods are outside of Kerala, because the left government and the UDF and the LDF have failed to give us any kind of substantial employment in our own state. So therefore, it is the NDA government which is actually empowered. They're facing this kind of empowerment, especially for the youth and the women, and for the enterprise economy, which is going to go very well. And we have seen in these repeated road shows of Modi, Modi ji, where we have seen the kind of turnout. I know you'll say, all the so-called intellectuals will say road shows do not convert to votes, but it's a display of the faith that they repose in the NDA government.
Okay, I want to bring in Saba, and if we can bring up our next graphic slide, because Saba, what we do know from the numbers is that the BJP in the last two elections, going by the vote share, has actually emerged as the second largest party, the second largest vote share. And even Shashi Tharoor acknowledges that he believes his principal challenge, his principal opposition today is from the BJP. And if you look at the vote share over 2014 and 19, if we can play that now, you can see that very clearly. Now, how do you see the larger mission south of the BJP? You've argued today that the manifesto of the BJP committing to one nation, one poll, you believe would not go down well in the states, in particular in the southern states. So do go ahead.
So first of all, Barkha, I was very surprised, and I'm talking here Kerala and Tamil Nadu. I'm not looking at Karnataka and all. They have different realities, different sensibilities. I'm talking about the deep south right now. In Kerala and Tamil Nadu, you're dealing with two models. One is a left model, one is a Dravida model, which has actually given you greater success than the models of south. You have higher levels of literacy. You have Tamil Nadu's high level of industrialization compared to the North Indian states. There are two things that stare them in the face. In the future, the question of delimitation, that we are going to be outnumbered even more than we are, even though we have kept our population growth. We are just replacing our population, but because UP and Bihar and so on and so, there are already battles over state share of cess. It's an ongoing thing that they keep arguing about all of this. That this is already happening in the southern states. So I was surprised. And within the BJP, there is no doubt that the BJP, which was a more which had different power centers, all authority is now with New Delhi. The Prime Minister says Modi ki guarantee. He doesn't say BJP ki guarantee. It's all become about the individual and the man. So here is my take, which is going to go counterintuitive. In the end, this overplay on Modi, overplay on centralized power is not going to go down well. And yes, there will always, I mean, the BJP has so much money, so many resources, so much media traction. Yes, and Trivandrum in particular is a seat where they will get up to a point traction, but they're going to come out of this battle. Actually, we are going to, it is a push. It is a push to show the rest of India also that we are pushing. In the case of Tamil Nadu, let me also put it, it's an ideological battle. Up to an extent, the left argument has been defeated by the BJP in Tripura. The left, in any case, is on a decline. But the ideological, absolutely, the loathed force for the right wing ideologically is Periyar and the Dravidian model. So it is also a challenge for the future, and the BJP always plans for the future. The Sangh Parivar is the largest cadre organization. They're putting people everywhere. They plan for a future. But this overplay of one individual, a Hindi-speaking individual, all over India, coming there, it'll get traction, of course, because the media is going to tell you it's going to get traction. In the South also, the media is part of it. It's a story. The Prime Minister who has a brand recognition, which is now greater than his party. So that is going to happen. But you see, in the end,
so you're saying it'll boomerang.
I'm just saying it's odd that the BJP doesn't apply itself, that it goes with one nation, one poll. When you're about to vote, you could have waited 4 days and said, this is going to be my pitch. If you think that I've spoken to somebody in Chennai, they're just baffled because they are about federal power. They have a governor who doesn't listen to them. You think of all those various factors, structural things about democracy, and these are much more educated people. Then Kerala has.
Let's bring in brief responses from first Rahul, then Shashi, and then I want to play out the other Shashi from the campaign trail. Rahul Easwar, I saw you nodding when Saba was arguing. Even as a votary of the Prime Minister, a fan of Shashi Tharoor, do you believe one nation, one poll is too centralized an approach, and the South has a very strong sense of regional identity?
See, basically, we people in right like a centralized figure. We believe that a benevolent dictator will come and resolve India's problem. That's only a daydream. But there are many people who think like that. I'm not saying that is true or right, but there are many people think like that. But one larger point regarding South. See, one of the core questions in India history is Sanskrit versus Tamil. And Modi ji had the ethical courage to tell that Tamil is older than Sanskrit. It was said by Vivekananda during his time. 99% of RSS BJP ecosystem doesn't believe in it. Doesn't agree with Modi ji too, even though they don't tell it out. So Modi ji was courageous enough to tell the fact of history. At the Brahmin Beniya Club, like me, I'm a Brahmin community member myself. The Brahmin Beniya Club will never accept that Tamil is older than Sanskrit. But Modi ji forcefully said it 3 or 4 times, saying that Tamil is the oldest. In one of the said he explicitly said Tamil is older than Sanskrit. So he has a personal credibility and standing. See, the Moditwa is Moditwa in the election, not even Hindutva. The Moditwa is fighting the election. I don't know whether he will win or not, but the personal credibility is very high. People look up to him. People see him as an honest go-getter and doer. So that's one thing that will definitely pull in votes for Modi. BJP minus Modi is different.
But let me bring in Shashi now on this argument that Saba's made. Rahul Easwar doesn't agree, but I think there's something to think about on one nation, one poll in a set of states where delimitation is already threatening to make them politically less relevant. No politician, including BJP politicians from the South, want to be politically less relevant. Do you believe the announcement of one nation, one poll was not needed at this point and will be counterproductive, as Saba argues, for the BJP?
See, I don't necessarily believe that is the case because if you look at the proposal that has come on one nation, one poll, it is not that everyone is forced into one election. There can be a no confidence motion. There can be midterm cycles. It is just that you will serve out the remainder of the term, right? So it doesn't take away the political space for the forces of federalism to act out whichever way they acted out in the past. What it does, however, is that it creates a disincentive for frequent elections, which is, I think, a good thing. I think it's a healthy thing. I don't think it should hurt any state in that matter. As far as delimitation is concerned, I don't think it's an issue for this election. Maybe 2029, by when the process will be clear. I don't think it's a very big factor in this election. What we are in effect, really seeing is that the process by which the BJP has emerged in state after state is now finally going to play out deep south, right? With the decline of the ADMK, every state needs politics is a choice. It's about two contrasts. It's practically every state. It is about one force versus the other force, and so who is going to occupy that space in Tamil Nadu? I think that is what is up for grabs, and I think the BJP has done the right thing by investing in Annamalai as a leader for the future. So even if it is not this cycle, it will be the next cycle. But you're going to see a very clear contrast, a very clear divide emerging in Tamil Nadu. And the same process will play out in Kerala as well, because ultimately the LDF and the UDF have made a common cause. They're part of the same alliance, right? So how long are they going to continue with this charade, right? So ultimately that space will be occupied by the BJP.
Okay, I think this is a very interesting concept of the next cycle, and I'll bring the others in on this, that basically what the BJP did in Bengal is to not immediately try and win the state, but become the principal challenger. In seats like Thiruvananthapuram, the BJP is already the principal challenger, and now it's trying to apply that to the southern states. Does it emerge as the main opposition? First, it has to get to opposition before it can rest the state. In our last 10 minutes, I want to briefly play out the two main candidates. There's a third candidate also. I met Mr. Ravindran also, but most people here in Thiruvananthapuram believe this is a direct head-on battle between Shashi Tharoor and Rajeev Chandrasekhar. I want to play out what Shashi Tharoor said to me campaigning at 10 p.m. at night. He believes this election is his yet again. Is his confidence misplaced? We'll find out, but take a look. It's almost 10 p.m. and we're here on the campaign trail with Shashi Tharoor. They say it's third time lucky, but will it be fourth time lucky for him in a battle that's been called the Clash of the Titans, as Rajeev Chandrasekhar, Union Minister, goes up against Tharoor, who's hard at work even at this time of the night. Shashi, when you were in college and I was in college, there used to be a debate called Clash of the Titans. Is that how you see your clash with Rajeev Chandrasekhar?
Well, I suppose both of us in different ways ought to be flattered to be called a titan. In my case, it's just my fourth term, but it's an interesting challenge. In the case of our friend Rajeev, he's fighting for the first time for the Lok Sabha and seeking a popular mandate. So is he yet ready to be baptized as titan?
But do you feel, as someone who's fighting your fourth election, that this will be your toughest election yet?
Not from the evidence we've seen on the ground so far. I've been campaigning since my candidacy was announced on the 10th of March. That's been almost 5 weeks now. And I can tell you that the feedback, the reaction from the public shows that we are well ahead, and that there's a tremendous amount of affection and recognition that they've given me, which I believe will continue and which reflects the kind of faith and trust they placed in me in the past.
Okay, I'm going to let you just say hello to all the people here. You can see there are people on the sides of Shashi Tharoor's Vahanam, as it's called. And we will be talking a little more to him. He has to periodically stop and talk to his voters, of course. Let me ask you this as you greet the citizens in this constituency. And like I said, it's elections are really the hustle and bustle of it are alive. Even at this time of the night. Are you confident that you're going to win a fourth time, or a little bit nervous given that the BJP took 31% of the vote share last time?
So the BJP came second twice, both last time and the time before. But last time my majority was a good 11%. And the most recent survey by the most popular Malayalam newspaper, the Malayalam Manorama, is also putting me 11% ahead of the BJP. So it doesn't look like at the moment I have much to worry about. We haven't picked up sense that there is any major problem here yet. But, there are almost 2 weeks to go and people are going to campaign to the very end. We'll see how things are going. I'm not worried at all. In fact, my self-confidence has grown in the time that I've been campaigning.
Okay, we are going to let Shashi meet his voters. They're all lining up by the side of his Vahanam. And we're here following him on the campaign trail. When this convoy stops, we will try and have a more reflective conversation with him then. But for now, Shashi Tharoor is saying he's not nervous. His confidence has only grown. We'll see him in a moment when this convoy is static. Okay, let me bring in Salman Soz and Vinita for quick comments. I know all of you are in a hurry and we have only a few minutes left, and I want to play out Rajeev Chandrasekhar's short clip as well. Salman Soz to Shashi, our Shashi here's argument that look, it's a gradual, incremental approach. You first get to the opposition. Even Tharoor on the ground is acknowledging that the BJP he now sees as the principal challenger. In many ways, it's the replication of the Bengal model in the south. Quick response.
Well, I think you have to be a student of history to see this particular seat, the Thiruvananthapuram seat. The BJP has been in double digits in that particular seat since 1990. So this is not some new phenomenon where BJP has, even if you look at the 2014 election, the difference between Shashi and his rival from the BJP was only 2 percentage points, actually 1.7 percentage points. So the BJP has always had strength in Thiruvananthapuram, and this dates back to the early 90s, late 1980s, early 90s. So this is not a surprise. If this is the pace at which BJP wants to take over South India, that's fine. Maybe we'll have a very nice time for the next 3-4 decades. And in the meantime, we'll try and do what we do best, which is try to govern responsibly. And what I mean by that is, you saw what the Prime Minister did when he went to Tamil Nadu, tried to dig up issues from the 1970s, things that perhaps should be left aside because those create problems with our friends abroad, foreign countries that are our allies. But that is not the kind of politics Mr. Modi, adheres to. And I think that is the kind of politics that you want, is where you keep the nation's interests at the top, and then you do whatever you want inside. But that is the kind of dangerous politics that he's brought, divisive politics. We feel they want to make inroads. That is their right. Of course they should. They should fight us, and no problem. As far as Thiruvananthapuram is concerned, we don't take any fight lightly. This is a tough seat. But yes, we feel that we are ahead right now, but we've got to keep the momentum up.
Okay, Vinita, quick response, and then I want to bring in Saba and get last comments from all of you. Vinita, go ahead.
Yeah, so India's never been on a global stage as much as it is today, as strong as it is today, as robust as it is today, so much so for keeping the nation's interests in mind. Because, other than just marches and claims of Mohabbat Ka Dukan, our government has actually delivered the last 10 years relentlessly. And we have seen how India's grown from, it may be folklore, it may be cliche, but we've definitely grown to be the third largest and the fifth largest economy today. So that's no small feat. And the kind of, the micro level achievements that we've had, our manifesto runs into several pages, looking at our achievements, just reflecting back on our achievements and how proud an average Indian is today to have a Modi Sarkar, to have an NDA government at the center. So much so for all that is achieved over the last 10 years and keeping the nation's interests in mind. So definitely national integrity, stability, robustness of the nation is all that is going to be in the voters' mind today. And we also go out on our outreach missions to various homes of Kerala and different parts of South India. And we've seen the kind of change in sentiment of the average voter towards the NDA government. And we've realized that we have to move beyond provincial, electoral sentiments, beyond the ethics of regionalism, and move towards being one nation, in the end. Yeah.
Okay. Vinita, I'm going to let you go. I know you have a meeting to attend. Requesting everybody else to stay on for last comments. But Saba, let's bring you in. 2 questions. Rahul Easwar made a passing reference to Shashi Tharoor's interest in becoming chief minister. By the way, in the fuller conversation I had with him, he said, I'm not saying no. So many people have advised me. So that's clearly, actually, I think, where his heart is set. I don't know if it can come true. Point 1. Point 2, with the Prime Minister investing so much of brand muditva in this Mission South, if it doesn't work, or it works only marginally, does that mean anything? Does that amount to anything? It's a risk.
This investment in the South is long-term. For instance, the Bharti Janata Party invested in Odisha. And the Congress used to be the opposition force, and the Congress is missing from the opposition space. So they have a larger civilizational project. And Modi, because I think UP is where he's going to do very well. And I think that Modi, plus the media narrative just doesn't question him, no? So they will immediately say he was trying, he was working so hard. That will not be an issue, because right now it's impressive It is impressive that the Prime Minister wishes to go to new territories and there is a plan in place for Tamil Nadu. It's very interesting to take on the Dravida, the forces of Periyar ideologically, whether you get the seats or not. It is an interesting part. As a student of the Bharatiya Janata Party, I will not miss it. Tamil Nadu one is very interesting, but I'll also say one thing. And I may say this, Salman, that in the midst of all this battle, it is a disservice to supporters of the Congress what your party has done with Amethi Raebareli. It's just dragged down everything. You just announced candidates in Delhi, the national capital, last night, whereas Aam Aadmi Party, whose half the leaders are sitting in jail, had announced it 5 weeks ago. So there is a disservice you are doing, and it cannot be said, don't be worried. We are worried because everybody wants a robust opposition. Everybody wants it. Is you cannot take these things when you have a party which is going with plans and strategies in new territories to sit back and my village is in Raebareli district, so I can tell you what people say, and I don't want to say it here because it's not fair on you. Even supporters of the Congress, what they have to say.
But Saba, the word is that they're going to announce the candidates after Wayanad is over. And that's not fair maybe to the people of Wayanad. Many people do contest from 2 seats. Rahul will not be the first one if he does it. All right, before last comments, I know Salman you want to respond, but it's only fair we also hear from Rajeev Chandrasekhar from the campaign trail, who had a dig at Shashi Tharoor saying it doesn't matter how many years you've spent living abroad and how many times you've read Karl Marx's Das Kapital or how many big English words you use. That doesn't matter in an election. Listen in. Can I just ask you, what is the central issue? Mr. Chandrasekhar, sorry, what is the central issue in this election according to you?
Well, the central issue is the same issue that is all around the country, which is development, opportunity, and the ability for people to live a dignified life. Thiruvananthapuram in particular, Kerala in general today, is a bankrupt economy where people are unable to get their basic pensions and salaries on time. People are not having the ability to have homes with drinking water. While every state, because of Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji, has got 100% or near 100% coverage of drinking water, Kerala remains one of the few states that are at 50-55% coverage of drinking water because they are not able to provide the matching grants. The issue is not how visionary you are as an MP or how many years you have spent abroad or how many times you have read Karl Marx's Das Kapital. It is about serving the people of Thiruvananthapuram, serving the people of Kerala and giving them the basic needs that have been denied to them for the last 75 years. It is not only painful, it makes even the most sober person angry to see the kind of deprivation and the suffering of the people.
So it's your first Lok Sabha contest. How optimistic are you?
It is not my first Lok Sabha contest. It's my first Lok Sabha contest for me, but I have managed many Lok Sabha elections in the past, and this is certainly not a new thing.
Mr. Chandrasekhar, you've also sent a legal notice to Mr. Tharoor. I didn't get a chance to ask you about that. Are you going to pursue that logically? He says he's replied to that notice.
Do you think I start things that I don't end?
Do you think I start things that I don't end? Very dramatic comment there. And how is this going to end? Let's take ending comments. I'll start with you, Salman Soz.
Well, this person certainly has seen a lot of development. He's a billionaire whose taxable income, according to his own submission, was 680 rupees. So, Barkha, I don't know about the rest of you, but I know I pay a lot more taxes and I'm nowhere close to being a billionaire. So that is the kind of mindset this person has, a sense of entitlement. You bring in accountants, you put together loopholes, and you have taxable income of 680 rupees. And by the way, he's been a minister, right? A minister of information technology. 800 plus million Indians lost their data to the dark web while this guy was minister. I don't have to tell you about the hundreds of thousands of attacks, cyber attacks against Indian banks while this guy is minister. I want to know what he has done. You know, it's very good to say that Kerala is terrible and all that. Maybe he should go to move to UP or Bihar. If that is what he really feels about Kerala. Kerala, which is, by the way, Kerala's Human Development Index is one of the best in the country, is really at an international level. It would be an upper middle income country. But of course, there are deficiencies, no doubt about it. You know, he has come in and maybe he will try and set things right, but he should have done something while he was minister. Why didn't he do that? Why didn't he come to Kerala and do something? Nothing. So please spare me all these things about how this guy is going to miraculously cure Kerala of its is this whole Modi syndrome of I single-handedly will be able to fix things. That doesn't work like that. MPs don't work like that. But they have been in government for 10 years at the center. He was a minister. He should have done more.
Okay.
I don't think he's done anything.
Rahul Easwar, how do you respond to the criticism about Rajeev Chandrasekhar? And I'm sure Saba will have some thoughts on what happens if he does lose. It is his first Lok Sabha election.
Shaji Chandrasekhar ji is portraying himself as a go-getter. And the Malayalam catchline is Iniyum Karyam Nadakkum. Things will happen now. So, he is running a very energetic campaign. Let us be honest enough to acknowledge. But regarding one thing, regarding Shashi Tharoor, sir, the most powerful Hindu organization, NSS, is on record telling that Shashi Tharoor is a person who can even take on Prime Minister Narendra Modi. And there is a huge support for him. We all know this stature. But sadly, to our Congress friends, you are missing the bus that Shashi Tharoor is in. Shashi Tharoor is one of the most vibrant leaders. Instead of Khargeji or instead of anybody else, had Shashi Tharoor been the head of Congress, things may have changed. But unfortunately, there is no space given to people like him. I'm very happy. I remember people like Salman Soz really supported Shashi Tharoor ji. So beyond politics, I am a Modi fan. That's a different thing. But beyond politics, people like Shashi Tharoor should come to the front and at least give a weight to the whole entire opposition. That is not being done. And the sad thing is, if Shashi Tharoor loses this MP election, he cannot become the chief minister because there are enemies and detractors in Congress itself who will pull him down. So the real game is for 2026.
Let me tell you something funny, Saba. I met with Mr. Ravindran, the left candidate in Thiruvananthapuram, and he called Shashi Tharoor a Modi Bhakt. So this is such a funny election. Like I said, the left and the Congress have traded sharper jibes than Shashi Tharoor and Rajeev Chandrasekhar. But go ahead, last thoughts, and then I let our Shashi close the show. Saba, Naqvi, go ahead.
I'll say Salman has a few points. He's done his research on the candidate who's everybody's entitled to be a billionaire, but he is not a politician from the ground up. He's a Rajya Sabha entry and a wealthy man, very, very wealthy man. And yes, there is a question about data and so on and so forth. So I'll support that. But I actually, Shashi Tharoor's own positions, his alienations from sections of the Congress leadership, all of these are intriguing straws in the wind. Some nuances he took on the Sabrimala issue in which Rahul was very agitated. So he is playing to his constituency. The Congress is the perfect party for him because of all his glorious speeches about Nehru and at Cambridge, Oxford. He's such a popular speaker where young people line up to hear him. I mean, I've been a bit fascinated by that phenomena in universities and all. There's nobody who can match Shashi Tharoor. So of course he's ahead, but there is going to be an intriguing interplay. The other aspect of Kerala, which is very interesting, it's the state where Prime Minister Modi, because again they have a strategy in mind, had made overtures to the Christian community, right? It's linked to the larger outlay. So it's an interesting election. Of course, I think Shashi is going to prevail. And since I happened to be there in February, and I saw his interaction over 4 days with local people there, he's very accessible. He was very accessible to all and in Kerala, a book festival there, how people are so engaged with everything because of the high literacy levels. It's not happening. It was huge, and he was very accessible to everybody who was walking up, talking, so on and so forth. So I think he would be ahead where you are. But let's see. I mean, elections are always interesting, and who knows? But I doubt, Barkha. I doubt very much, and I'm surprised that the BJP has overplayed its hand on great central command when it comes to Kerala and Tamil Nadu on the eve of their.
Let me give Shashi Shekhar the last word there. And also the point that Saba makes about the Christian community outreach is very interesting. I was in Kanyakumari last night and I met Mr. Pon Radhakrishnan, and he was campaigning in the Christian communities. You have there is a very interesting sort of thing that has taken place both in pockets of Kanyakumari, central Kerala. You have some churches screening the much talked about, much debated Kerala Story, the movie. So that's an important point that Saba makes. But go ahead, Shashi Shekhar, Vempati, last word to you.
Yeah, I think the southern outreach and the battle for the south is not necessarily about this election cycle. It is about investing in the future. And I think the process by which we will see a bipolar polity to emerge, within which the BJP will carve its space. We'll see that in Tamil Nadu, we'll see that in Kerala. The Thiruvananthapuram contest, of course, is very interesting. I know both of them personally, both Shashi Tharoor and Rajeev Chandrasekhar. So I think it'll be very interesting to see which way that particular constituency votes. But I think the larger picture that is emerging is that the Deep South, which was historically inaccessible to the BJP, is opening up, and we will see very interesting outcomes this election.
Well, it's going to be one hell of an interesting election, not just in Thiruvananthapuram, but in all of these southern states. So I'm glad to have begun my election journey from here. Thank you, Salman Soz, Shashi Shekhar, Vempati, and Shashi. Apologies again. I obviously confused you with some other Shashi at the beginning, not Shashi Tharoor. I have to find out who was the sub-collector who served in Kerala. Do you know, by the way? Who have I mixed you up with?
I have no idea.
No idea.
I'm from the private sector.
My apologies. I know. I should have thought of that.
Shashi Bhushan, maybe. Shashi Bhushan.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay.
Barkha, what is your feedback? You tell us. What do you think?
I think Shashi Tharoor enters the election with an advantage, but a fourth time win is no small order for any politician, right? And secondly, you have the left, triangulating this contest. And every time there's a triangular contest, that's an advantage to the BJP. We've seen that kind of everywhere. That said, I think Shashi Tharoor does. I'm going to measure my words carefully because I'm reporting and not being an analyst here. I do think the advantage is Tharoor's. And that's all I will say. Not remember what Rahul Easwar said. Two very important things. It's like Sachin Tendulkar versus Brian Lara. And Tharoor's real crown that he might be eyeing, if he wins this round, is the post of Chief Minister of Kerala. Leaving it there, thank you, Shashi Shekhar Vempati, Salman Soz, Saba, Naqvi, Rahul Easwar. Thank you very much, and to our audience for watching. All right, we are live here from Kerala, and every evening we will be live from a different part of the country. We began our journey at the Indian mainland's southernmost tip in Kanyakumari. We drove up to Kerala. We'll be driving ahead to Coimbatore. If we pass through your city and there are places you want us to visit, issues that you want us to look at, do tell us. You can see our Vahanam in our favorite shades of purple there, our series called The Dhabas of Democracy. And we're really looking forward to having you be part of this journey of ours. I also want to request all of you to become part of our community. Sign up and become a Mojo member if you haven't already. We'd love to hear more directly from our members. You have early access to our interviews, to our ground reports. You have a chance to ask our guests questions. And of course, once every few months, we'll also be meeting offline with our members. So do become a Mojo member. In the meantime, keep following the Mojo Story. The full dinner conversation at a little dhaba with Shashi Tharoor will be out on our platform very soon. So do look out for that. Thank you for watching. Take care. Stay safe. Namaskar and hello everyone. Welcome to a ride through the heart and the soul of India. क्योंकि जब इलेक्शन सीजन आता है तो कौन जीता, कौन हारा, कौन आगे, कौन पीछे, ये बातचीत तो होती ही रहती है. But it's also a time for travel and meeting people and getting to know your own country better. So, welcome to the Dhabas of Democracy, where every bite tells a story, where every conversation will spice up your day. Experience the masala, the flavor, the swad of this election with us as we take a unique road trip from the south to the north of India, traveling thousands of kilometers to bring you the flavor of this election.
इलेक्शन सर पर है, वोटर अपना मन बना रहे हैं. ऐसे में आपको चाहिए सही फैक्ट, सही ज्ञान, सही नॉलेज. इसी कड़ी में मोजो स्टोरी लेकर आ रहा है एक खास कार्यक्रम, बैलेट की बात. मैं हूं पॉलिटिकल रिसर्चर कार्तिकेय बत्रा और मैं चाहता हूं आपके दिन के केवल 2 मिनट. कैंडिडेट्स, पार्टीज, अलायंसेस, इश्यूज, इन सब पर होगी बात. और होगा रोज आपका एक छोटा सा पॉलिटिकल टेस्ट. स्पेशल प्राइजेस फॉर दोज हु आर द बेस्ट. तो बैलेट की बात, कट द नॉइज, सिर्फ सच और फैक्ट की वर्ड.